To connect this simple demo up to a Reflux store, I'm first going to move this data we're displaying into a state. So this .state.message, and then we'll say get initial state and return message of hello from state. And again, this is the shorthand ES6 syntax for functions on an object. And once I refresh here, you'll see it says hello from state. Now I can go ahead and install Reflux. And once I have Reflux installed, I can say require Reflux, and then Reflux is what I required, and then use Reflux to create a store, which is just going to be an object where I'm going to get initial state out of the component and paste it into the store. Then to hook these up together, I'll say var store, and that's something that I can pass into mixins, which is just basically functionality you can mix into your components, which it takes an array, and I'll say reflux.connect, and I'll say store. So once I save, hit refresh, it'll still work. Just to make sure it's coming from the store, I'll say hello from store. Refresh again, and we have hello from store. Now what's going on here is this Reflux Connect helper is grabbing the store, and anytime it triggers an update, it's going to say set state, or when it requests the get initial state, it's going to get it from this. So to show you how we can trigger an update, I'll go ahead and set up an init. So init with a set interval, which takes a function, and I'm using the arrow function because I want this scoped to my store, and I'll say this dot trigger. And then any data I pass into this dot trigger, for example, an object with message on it that says something different, and then we'll call this every second. I'll go ahead and hit save, refresh, and you can see after 1 second it changes to something different. So to see this more in action, I'm actually going to move this out of here. So instead of returning an object, I'll say return this dot data. I'll go ahead and set up a data on here, which will just start as an object with a message of 0. Then in my set interval, I can say this dot data dot message plus plus, and every time I trigger it, I can say this dot data and just send that along. Save, refresh. You'll see 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So you'll notice that I didn't change anything else in the component itself. It's really connected to the store that I created, and it's calling that set state, which is updating this state dot message every time that this dot trigger gets called on the store. So we get that initial state, which is just the data dot message, and then every second we're updating the message, and then we're triggering it so that we send that new data along, which again gets called as set state on our component.